Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a concept that gets talked about a lot, but is so often misunderstood: the true meaning of feminine energy.
So, hello, what you're about to hear is a summary of a really fascinating video from intuitive counselor Michiyo. She has this incredible spiritual perspective on how these energies really shape our lives.
Okay, let's just get right to it. When you hear the words feminine energy, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's about appearances, right? How you dress or how you act. But according to Michiyo, that's where we get it wrong. And we're about to find out what it's really all about.
All right, first things first. This has absolutely nothing to do with gender. Michiyo makes it super clear that every single one of us has both masculine and feminine energy inside. Think of them like fundamental forces, kind of like yin and yang. And it's the unique balance of these two that really defines who we are.
So, to help us wrap our heads around this, Michiyo uses this absolutely brilliant metaphor, and it makes everything so much clearer: the mountain versus the ocean. It's such a powerful way to visualize these two very different energies.
Okay, check this out. It really lays it all out for us. Masculine energy, that's the mountain. It's all about that upward motion, Giving, climbing, reaching goals, very direct. And then you've got feminine energy, the ocean. That's all about a horizontal flow. Receiving, connecting, being flexible. Now, one isn't better than the other, but let's be real, our world today tends to throw a party for the mountain.
So if we all have both, what's the big deal? Well, the problem, especially for so many modern women, is that society basically pushes them into one primary mode of being, the mountain climber.
I mean, think about it. For generations, that mountain energy is what's been valued. So to be seen, to be viewed as capable, to get ahead in a career, or even in relationships, a lot of women feel like they have no choice but to adopt that masculine, goal-oriented energy. They start climbing, focusing on achieving, and proving themselves over and over again.
And this right here, this is the unintended consequence, and it is powerful. This quote actually comes from Michiyo's own experience. By becoming so hyper-capable, so self-sufficient, she found that she was accidentally pushing potential partners away. Their masculine need to give and provide, it just had nowhere to land.
So yeah, there is a massive cost to all this constant climbing. We're talking emotional exhaustion and burnout, a deep sense of isolation, even when you're at the peak of your success. You start attracting competition instead of partnership, and relationships can start to feel like, as she puts it, two men together. And way too often, this path just ends in heartbreak and this profound feeling of being unloved.
But, and this is a big but, it does not have to be this way. The solution isn't to stop achieving things. It's to rediscover and nourish the other half of our energetic nature. The whole solution lies in the power of receiving.
And this is such a crucial reframe. Michiyo explains that receiving is not about weakness. It's not about being passive. It's the essential fuel for our feminine energy. It is an active, conscious choice to allow yourself to be filled up, to accept help, compliments, and support.
So how do you actually do it? She calls it descending the mountain, and it's a conscious journey. It starts with just noticing that habit of over-efforting and deliberately choosing to stop. It's about letting others help you, and then consciously practicing the art of accepting, even if it's just by saying thank you to a compliment instead of waving it away.
And here's where the magic happens. You see, masculine energy is nourished by giving. Feminine energy is nourished by receiving. When you actively choose to receive, you're not being selfish. You are literally creating the space that's necessary for the masculine energy in others to fulfill its own nature. This creates this beautiful, natural, harmonious cycle of connection.
So, let's bring all this home. Understanding this dynamic isn't just some abstract theory. It is a practical guide to finding more balance, more joy, and way more connection in your own life.
So what's the most important thing to take away from all this? It's simple. True feminine energy isn't superficial, it's your capacity to receive. Living only in that constant state of striving and climbing is a recipe for loneliness. The path back to balance is through nourishing that feminine side by actively practicing receiving. And please, remember this: receiving is not a weakness, it is a strength that creates real partnership and joy.
Now, everything we've covered is based on that video from intuitive counselor Michiyo, which was released on October 24th, 2021. If you want all the details and the full context, we really encourage you to find the original on YouTube. Just a heads up, you might need to use a translation feature to watch it. And that brings us to the end. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to carry with you. It doesn't have to be big. It could be a compliment, a small offer of help, or just a quiet moment for yourself. What will you choose to receive today?